Okay, so this first method I'm going to show you is my backup method. That just goes right into, I've got maybe a third of a 5-gallon bucket of water. That just goes right in there. And I'll tell you why I don't like this setup as much as I do the other one. There's drawbacks to both systems I use, folks. And this is the little motorized gadget that charges USB. And this is the shower head that it came with. This is the hook. I'm not a fan of the hook at all, folks. Not at all. And this is the other shower head that came from my old shower system. And I'm not sure which I like better, this shower head or this shower head. They are interchangeable. They're the same size as far as the connector, so that's good. So with this one here, the one that you charge, you press it once to turn it on. It's turned on. There's low pressure. There's high pressure. Plenty enough to take a shower, even with long hair, okay? And you press it again and it shuts off. So, I have taken a shower several times with this method. I fill the bucket up an inch from the top. It's a 5-gallon bucket. I take a shower. I'm pretty comfortable with the length of my shower. I get nice and clean. I can wash my long hair. I can rinse my long hair. And I can rinse off and feel completely clean with less than a half a 5-gallon bucket of water. So a 5-gallon bucket of water gets me 2 nice long showers. So this is a good system because it's more portable than my 55-gallon rain barrel setup with a different pump. Now I will show you that. I'm going to have to bring you inside the shower encasement, if you will, and I'll show you how that is done. Now with this nozzle, the reason I like this one as well is it because you can stop the water from right here. That's had some water in it, folks. You push it down and it'll start spraying water. You push it up and it stops the spray of water. And the nozzle is also adjustable. I could do a shower, light shower. I could do a mist. I could do a center stream. This one works pretty good as well. So let me show you the other system that I've got going on here. So this 55-gallon rain barrel, I've got what I just showed you on top. I've got paper towels because I had washed the pollen out of this tote. So my fancy redneck outside shower, I've got the rain barrel, I've got the water in here, and I can't show you down in there, but this PVC pipe right here, it goes all the way, well maybe I can, hold on. So I didn't glue any of my fittings. I just, because it's temporary, it's a temporary seasonal thing, I just push the fittings together, and you can do so tight enough so that it doesn't leak. So this is what I've got here. It's just PVC pipes with an elbow connector. And so I wouldn't get sediment from the bottom of the barrel, I just put a T, where am I? I just put a T at the bottom. So the water would, pretty hard to do this one-handed, folks. So the water will come in here, instead of down there and suck up any sediment that might be on the bottom of the barrel. So this gives me about a 3/4 to maybe an inch from the bottom. The water comes in here, flows up the pipe, and this just goes in here and connects back here. Mosquitoes. So I just push these two fittings together, and it goes through this here. It just used to be a fence, the fence that was leaning up against where I used to do my filming, where I still do my filming. But these fence panels that were leaning up against the two spruce, that's what I used. I cut them to the size that I wanted, and with some leftover fencing slabs, basically, I just cut them to length and filled the gap so it's like a board and batten. So people can actually hold a conversation with me while I'm in the shower, and they're not going to see anything unless they're really tall. But this here, I just measured it to where I wanted it and took the chainsaw and went and buzzed it right across. It doesn't have to be fancy, folks. It needs to work. This bug netting also was a pain. It was windy. It was horrible to work with. And as long as the sides and roof was covered so the bugs couldn't get me, that was good enough for me. So that's just where it is, folks. So this is the inside of the shower. I've got a tarp here hanging up because the woodshed wall is just on the other side. When I take a shower, I didn't want what was in the woodshed to get wet every time I take a shower. So I brought this tote in to do a demonstration. I don't want to just put the water that I'm going to pump right down on the ground. It's good, clean bathing water, so I want to save it. So that's why that tote is in here. So I took part of the fence and made the sides and the door. I laid part of it down to walk on, so the water would go right down below. This foot pump here is what I generally like to use, but I'll tell you why it's not exactly what I want for a setup. And it has to be attached to something that's not going to move. So I just put it on a scrap piece of plywood with some screws. And this is called the Gusher Whale Pump. This thing here is made pretty darn rugged. And you press down with your foot on this, and it pumps water out of, this is just what I've got, an old shower, an old hose connector, spray hose. So you press down, water comes out, and you let go and water comes out. This gadget here will pump 4 gallons a minute. So the connectors, I had some old hose. I don't throw anything that might be useful. So I cut the hose, used some clamps to secure the hose onto the PVC pipe, and connectors to connect the hose to the inlet and the outlet of this foot pump. Now, the bad thing about this is this hose is pretty stiff. And it's so stiff that I can't mount it up here anywhere. Not without a lot of brackets. To get it right, I would have to mount the shower head up there, which is this thing here, which is old as the dickens, right? And then I would have to have some pipe bracking to put this where I want it, but there's a stud, there's no stud, there's a stud here, and the next stud is way over here. But this is my changing area. So unless I want to get my changing area wet, I have to have the shower coming down this way toward me. And I realize it is very crowded in here, so everything is up close and personal. So let me show you how much water comes out of this foot pump here. Now I'm going to have to do everything left-handed, which is not my best thing. So you just take your foot, you pump down, you let it go. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm doing everything backwards, folks. So you just keep, you push down, water comes out, you let go, water comes out, and you just keep doing that for as long as you want water. So that's on shower spray. I will shut this off and let me change. This is on shower. Let me change it to another setting. So I got the setting to jet. And let me start pumping. Whoops, I gotta turn that on. Let me change the setting. See, once you stop pumping, there's no more water. This is what I really like good about this. Okay, now I've got it set to full. Whoops, I'm losing my grip. Here we go. I stop pumping and it stops going. It's all manual. There's nothing powered. This isn't powered with anything except for my foot. So I've got it set back to shower. See? There we go.